Hello, 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 and welcome to episode 24 of The Good, the Dan, the Florida Man. With you, as always, your hosts.
Hi, I'm Ryan. I'm the Good, and we've got with you
the Dan, aka the Daniel, aka the Dan the Man, aka Big Boss Business Boy, and we also have him, this guy.
What?
No. You haven't heard all of his nicknames before? He's like Jesus. He comes with a lot of names.
Yeah, I just didn't realize we changed the name of the podcast to The Good, the Big Boy, Business Boy, the Florida Man.
You did.
You don't think it works as well?
We
sorry, no, I must
we
have
decided
missed
this in our
meeting.
sleep in Minnesota.
Right. Yeah, of course. Yeah, so, hi, I'm Ben. I'm the Florida Man.
We've stymied the Florida Man.
We have to find ways
most
to
of the
mess
time.
up the intro somehow, guys, and I took the initiative.
Every time.
This one feels like bottom 7. Like if I had to guess.
All of them
And I
feel
did it
like bottom
purposefully.
7.
You see? I did that purposefully.
Oh, did you? Okay, that makes me feel so much better.
Bottom 8 now.
Oh, man. Well, if this is your first time joining us, hello, and thank you for joining us. We are 3 stand-up comedians that got shut down as the world got shut down for the pandemic. We decided to turn towards... What? You're laughing at me silently.
Because
What?
we're 3 comedians that got shut down. How did we get shut down? What happened? We didn't.
Because we had to stop going on tour. Did you have shows,
I did
Ryan?
have shows. I actually
That-
did have
And then
shows.
they went
coming up.
away.
That part.
Yeah, but
I say
just-
that
I was
say
a more
this
successful
every
comedian
single week.
before COVID.
No,
than
but
I
you
am.
say we're 3 comedians who, like, when the world shut down, and then you said this week, well, apparently we shut down like we're robots. And it was just very funny.
I said we shut down when the world shut down.
We're the Terminator. We just
I
come
know.
when we're needed.
We're
you
the
know?
Avatar.
Oh my gosh.
When the world needs us most.
Yes, that's a better
Yeah,
comparison. Yes.
I like that one. I like that a lot. Okay, we're the Avatar. Carry on.
Okay, look, there is a point to this podcast sometimes. I promise. We're 3 stand-up comics, and this episode we're doing story time. We're talking about weddings, and boy does Ryan keep going to them. Before we get into stick around to hear our story time, but before we get into that, we are still stand-up comedians who still have shows. So, Ryan, do you have any shows coming up?
Yeah, I got some upcoming shows. If you're going to be in Raleigh on September 14th, I'm going to be there at Good Nights. If you're going to be in Charlotte on the 15th, I'm going to be there at the Comedy Zone. And then Zany's in Nashville on September 16th. After that, I'm going to be doing a weekend at Off the Hook in Naples, Florida. And then after that, I'm going to be doing a 1028 show in Tempe, Arizona, which I'm super excited about. That's all I got. Dan, what in the Dan do you have going on?
I am
God.
performing an opening for a guy named Ben Brainard on the 17th.
That's me.
Nice.
Yes, and then I have on the 20. Actually, I
do
lied.
this every week.
The 30th, September 2021. I
The
have
30th, September 21.
What? How did
I
that?
need
I'm from Zimbabwe,
Figure
guys. We put the
something
date
else out.
first
Hey,
before
look,
the...
Ben, you were right. Dan did just shut
you're
down.
saying September 30th, 2021.
Yes, September 20. Yeah,
The way
September
that you
30th.
said it out loud with your mouth and using your voice, it sounded like you were saying on the 30th, September 21st.
I apologize. Did I break up? Was that the problem?
No, you just didn't say 2021. You just said September 21,
September 21. I love
which
it.
only makes sense.
My
on
brain is
paper.
not functioning. This is what happens when I start working at a company. All my brain power just goes to that. But yeah, I'm performing in Ogden, Utah at WB's. So come and check me out there. And Ben?
I have a lot of one-nighters coming up, and they're kind of annoying to say in a row, but here we go. One breath. Here we go. September 17th, I'll be in West Jordan, Utah at Wise Guys, closing for Dan. On the 18th of September, I'll be in Provo, Utah at Dry Bar. October 4th, Liberty Township, Ohio at the Funny Bone. October 5th, the Dayton, Ohio show was canceled. October 6th, Toledo, Ohio at the Funny Bone. October 7th, Columbus, Ohio at the Funny Bone. October 17th, Raleigh, North Carolina at the Raleigh Improv. October 18th, I'll be in Greenville, South Carolina at the Comedy Zone. October 19th, I'll be in Charlotte, North Carolina at the Comedy Zone. October 20th, I'll be in Greensboro, North Carolina at the Comedy Zone. October 29th, I'll be in Irvine, California at the Irvine Improv opening for Frank Caliendo. And then October 30th, I'll be in Oxnard, California at the Oxnard Levity Live, again opening for Frank Caliendo.
Yes.
I'm tired already.
Great.
And I haven't even done any of them yet. Man. Did anything happen to you guys this week?
I performed with these two
Well, we were just in Minnesota. We were all together. I got to see you guys. We all were in the same place at the same time for the first time ever. We got to do a show at a liberal arts college in the middle of nowhere, Minnesota.
They were awesome. They were so
They
cool.
No, seriously, fantastic crowd. A fantastic
Shout out
crowd.
to the University of Minnesota Morris for being a wonderful crowd. We also all got to see Spud, our good friend Mashed Spudson.
Yes.
We love Spud.
We got pancakes.
I got French toast.
Well, yeah, I got a eggs Benedict, but yeah.
I got pancakes at the original Pancake House. I was the only one that did it right. Yup, plebeians.
Listen, I had the waitress read the menu to me, and I chose French toast.
It was so funny. She really did. She straight up sat him down like a child because he looks at her and goes, "I can't read." And apparently she was like, "I get this a lot," and then just leaned into it. Oh my god!
She was like,
I paid
Minnesota.
for the whole meal, which just confused her fully.
Yeah, exactly. She's like, why did this child who can't read pay for the meal? And did he know how to tip if he can't read?
I guess she'll find out.
Right.
Spoiler alert. I do know how to tip.
I did like that she called us honey and sweetie regularly. I did like
so
that.
nice.
Yeah.
So nice. I felt so loved and so at home. Well, actually, no, I felt loved, not at home. Those are different things. Anyway.
Dan, you had a rough time getting home, didn't you?
I did. So I was supposed to have my first day of work. I was gonna stay at the hotel with Ben, gonna chill, gonna enjoy Morris, Minnesota, and then I remember that I had my first day of work, and I was like, I need to leave. I need to make sure that I catch my flight. So this is the series of events that happened. I went and booked a ticket on Spirit Airlines.
Terrible start.
First mistake.
Yeah, right. Okay.
That flight got cancelled. Boom. Then I booked a ticket from Denver to Utah. That's what happened. So my Spirit Airlines thing gets cancelled. I rebook a flight from Minneapolis to Denver. Right? Go straight
There's the
through.
first and only person to be shocked that their Spirit Airlines flight went poorly. But I just want to, I want to let that be known.
You don't think you're going to be the casualty. You don't think you're going to be the statistic that everyone makes a joke about, and then it happens to you, and you're like, "This is my first and last experience with Spirit Airlines."
No,
like,
Dan, when it's an 100% casualty rate, I'm gonna get shot. Like that's what happens when it's an 100%.
it's true. The statistic is far.
I just
far
want
further
to
against
also
it.
preface this by saying that before Dan decided to fly out that night, he was sitting in the restaurant with me. You had already left, Ryan. And Dan was like looking at me going, should I just change my flight and fly out tonight? And I was going, I don't know. It's your flight, man. Like, I don't have any say. And he's like, I could just... Yeah, we could drive back tonight and then stay. Do you think I should do that? And I was like, Dan, this is your thing. Like, I don't know what you want from me. And then it hit me. I took a bite of like some fries or something, and then it just hit me. I was like, Ryan's on his way there right now.
Funny how that works.
And Dan could go with Ryan instead of me having to drive back 2.5 hours.
Yeah, I didn't really think through my plans.
No, it made way more sense. It made way more sense. But it was funny. I'm halfway out and I get a call from Dan and I'm like, hello? He's like, can you come like back and get me? And I was like, you're not too far, right? And I was like,
can you come pick me up?
And then I was like,
people
oh
are
my
drinking
gosh,
beer.
my son is afraid at a party. You're darn straight I'm going to go get him. And so I got
What do you
him.
mean there's alcohol there? I'm coming.
I'm coming right now.
I was shocked by the bar prices. Apparently they do, what is it, $2 beers at one
No,
night?
dude, they have quarter beers.
Quarter beers.
They-
Not
Yeah.
the place that we were, but like down the street, yeah.
Dude, that place we went had fire food. That was so good.
was so good.
They had a cheeseburger, I think.
It was so
Dude,
good.
I had a
So,
pulled
so
pork
good.
sandwich, and I would go back to Morris, Minnesota, just for that pulled pork sandwich.
I had a pulled pork burger, so I had the best of both worlds. I had Hannah Montana in there. And it was fantastic. It was fantastic. Am I supposed to go back? Okay, I'm going to go back to the flying story. Finish that off.
Absolutely.
Anyway.
So the Spirit Airlines flight got canceled.
Flight gets canceled.
And then you
I
booked a
rebooked-
different one to Denver.
I booked a different one to Denver. I get to Denver. I'm in Denver. What happens? Then, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I book a flight through United. I book a flight with United in Minneapolis. I get to Denver. While I'm in Denver, I find out that I have to leave the terminal and recheck in. I go to check in. These people are asking me questions like, "Have you ever carried a firearm? What is your purpose of going to Utah at this time?" Like, I was like, I fly internationally and I have never received these questions. So I was like, what is going on? Sat there for like
they're
50
looking for someone.
minutes. Yeah. And I was like, am I like a fugitive?
In a holding cell?
No, it
Like
was
an
at the
airport?
check-in desk, luckily. So it wasn't quite as prisonery as that. But I did have to... The inconvenience of leaving the terminal really got to me. So anyway, I left the terminal, went and did all this for like 50, 60 minutes, something like that. Checked back... and by the way, Denver was busy, like packed. So now I'm like trying to get back in there. It takes like 30 minutes itself just to get through security back into the terminal. Get into the terminal.
Leave.
Yes.
That sucks.
Get back into the terminal. All the food places are closed. I have not eaten all day.
What time is this?
This is... Now it's like closer to like 7:30, 8-ish, somewhere around there.
At night?
So early.
At night.
Yeah.
And then what time did you land in Denver?
I landed in... I can't actually remember. I think I remembered it. I like landed at 4:30, somewhere around there.
Okay, so you've been there for like 4 hours at this point.
Yes, and I'm so done. Like, I'm like tired. I had to like... and someone pushed in line, but I'm not that type of person to like call them out. So I was just like passive aggressively looking at them like, I know what you did.
It's whatever.
We literally hate you here.
I'm not going to tell on you, but I'm disappointed. But anyway, so now the flight is supposed to take off at 9:15. I'm like charging my phone, just trying to get stuff going because I haven't had an opportunity to do that. And I'm trying to figure out, I'm like talking to my sister that lives in Denver. I'm like, I might have to stay with you. We'll see. Anyway, get on the airplane finally. And I'm like, okay, I can go back to Utah now. This will be fine. Out of nowhere, we're sitting there for 10, 20, 30, 35, 40 minutes, somewhere around there. The pilot gets on and he's like...
on the tarmac.
Yep. And the plane's been running... they keep updating us. So maybe it wasn't like 40 minutes fully, but sporadically they keep being like, hey, the fuel valve's broken. Actually, it's not broken. It's completely destroyed. So we're going to get a replacement. Actually, it's entirely destroyed, and we're going to have you...
These aren't the kind of updates that I want to hear.
Yeah, I was like, just let us off the plane.
How was it
turn the plane
They turned off the plane at one point, and so we just sat in the heat for like 10, 15 minutes.
The heat of Denver.
I mean, it was pretty damn hot though. There was a guy sitting next to me, and he was pretty chill. Didn't talk to me. Period. I didn't talk to him either. But
nice guy.
someone was radiating. Someone around me was like radiating heat because I was just like, dog, I am dying in here. Anyway, finally we get out of the plane. These people are like, hey, we're gonna book you a hotel. And I was like, yeah, you should book us a hotel. At this point, it's like 11-ish, somewhere around there, 11:30. And I'm like, yeah, you should book us a hotel. They give us a voucher for a hotel and like meals stuff. And so I was like, okay, whatever, this is fine. I'll take it, you know?
Okay.
I go to get I go to get the shuttle. They're like, oh, the shuttle's already left. You have to like Uber, I guess. Because the next shuttle doesn't come for a very long time. So I was like, so now I'm ordering Ubers. There's no Ubers in the area, or at least there was none at the time. So now I'm sat there out of nowhere. This really nice Nigerian lady comes up and she's just like, hey, where are you going? And I was like, I'm going to this hotel. I'm supposed to be waiting for an Uber driver, but he's not coming. She's like, how much are they charging you? And I said, $45. She was like, dope, get in. To be fair, she did call her friend as like a security measure to be like, maybe this kid will, in case this kid like does something to me.
No, she's the one that absolutely needed the security measure there, not
that's
you.
Why. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying I'm a very intimidating person, and I did not know that about myself.
You should have called someone. You just got into a stranger's car that then called for backup. Homie, you're being kidnapped.
You know, she called the security. She called the person. I was like, okay, clearly she's got it covered.
I gotta let you know something. In kidnappings, women tend to be the ones that bait, and then they bring in men to secure the deal. Like,
Wow.
you could have been taken.
This is how you know Dan might be gay, but he's definitely not a woman because he had no precautions to a stranger picking him up in the car. He was just like, yeah, maybe. What could go wrong?
What could go wrong? This is fine.
Every woman in the world listening to this podcast just went, Dan, no!
Well, she was great though. She
Every woman in me.
I was trying to.
Yeah,
pitch
did you
to
leave her a
people.
review? Did you just
Oh no,
sticky
she
note
just had
on
me.
the car?
She just had me Venmo her. So it wasn't actually an official Lyft drive, Lyft.
Yeah,
no,
no, I'm
we put
aware.
that together.
Yeah, you should have gone on Yelp and made a new business. And you're like,
You're so fantastic. Oh my gosh, great. But
Shelby from Denver.
anyway, got to the hotel at 12ish at that point and was so angry. When you're just so angry that you can't even sleep. So I was
Yep.
sat there just sitting there in anger. And then eventually got an hour, 2 hours of sleep. That's exactly. And then finally got on the then finally had an eggs Benedict the next day, as I always do, at a restaurant with an old guy who we had very good conversations with, and finally got home. And now I'm here. So that's my whole
Wow.
flying experience. That should just be my story time. I don't even need to tell
I'm
a wedding
so
story.
glad. I'm so glad you had a conversation with a sweet old man
I'm glad.
over an eggs Benedict. He
That
probably
does
saw
sound
that
nice.
you were eating the eggs Benedict alone. He was like, look at this young gay man. I see myself in his eyes.
I want to talk
He's
to him.
been through some stuff.
Very recently. Well, and here's the thing. The funny thing, to lead up to that, we drove through 2.5 hours of torrential downpour. And I'm not saying I'm saying the windshield
did.
wipers cannot keep up with it. That's
And,
the level of downpour.
Giant
Ryan,
lightning
if
strikes.
you slow down, it's easier, right? I don't know if you ever heard of this concept on a highway, but you're allowed to go slower than what's posted. You don't have to go 90 the whole time.
Guys, I literally don't know what he's talking about. Especially, I'd like to point out
At
that
one point on this trip, Ryan comes up to me, or I think you were on the phone with me. We were driving separate cars, and he just goes, "Hey, do you guys know that a rental Toyota Camry can get up to 100 miles an hour?" And
Toyota
we were
Corolla.
like, "That's no what, Ryan? No, why would we know that?" And then he just zoomed away. We started in the same spot. We had to drive 1 hour. He got there 7 minutes before us.
we needed to get to the show on time. Because
We still got there on time.
a lot closer than mine though. I was safe. I felt great. Oh,
You still had to wait for us to get there to figure out where the show was.
I
That was
did.
my
I looked
favorite
real
part,
low.
was just slowly watching Ryan drive off into the distance. I was just like...
I remember at one
Also-
point we looked up and Dan was like, "Where'd Ryan go?" And we were like, "Oh."
I did also I don't know if you guys recognize this, but at one point there was a guy in a Dodge Charger who saw that that you were both driving the exact same car, and he gave us a thumbs up as we were driving. And I don't know what that meant, but I was like,
Way
okay,
to go, Team Corolla.
he approves
I
of
do-
Toyota Corollas. Yes, nice.
I do want to make a point here to everyone listening. We did not intentionally get the same car
No.
at the rental place. It just happened
They
that
were
way.
matching.
Yeah, no, we didn't show up, and I was like, "Can I match him?" That didn't happen. Okay. I'm
Because
very
Ryan had to get
insecure.
his own rental car because Ryan had to leave early to make a wedding.
It's-
Yeah, I
it's
left.
supposed-
Yeah.
Common theme for you.
I did the show, so I showed up. We drove 2.5 hours to the show. We actually drove 3 hours so that I could stand in the middle of 3 states, and we all stood there
Oh,
together.
Yeah. Oh no, I remember that.
And then it started pouring, and then
Yep.
Ben lets us know that we are 45 minutes away from the show, and the show, instead of starting in an hour and 45 minutes, starts in 45 minutes. And that's when I took off at the speed of light.
At the speed of a Toyota Camry.
A very fast Toyota Camry. And as that's happening, we get there, we do the show. It was great. I leave, take Dan, we drive through torrential downpours. I get back to the place, and I couldn't sleep at first, and so I fell asleep at I want to say it was 3:15. Woke up at 5:15 to get on a flight for a wedding that was happening in 8 hours in Seattle, Washington. Because it was the earliest flight. And so for those of you that don't know, I will do this thing where if
Did
I
you
get
sleep
DMs
on the plane?
Oh, I popped melatonin. I was
Okay.
out.
All right, good.
Yeah.
I just want to see you sleep on a plane because I wonder if you're like, what if you're like sleepwalking or sleep running kicks in? You're just like,
I have
down
slept
the aisle.
talked. I have slept. I'd probably get tackled by an air marshal, wake up confused, just
Absolutely.
like, what happened?
I'm sorry.
I'm so
Oh
sorry.
yeah.
I found
Good
out.
try with the you're asleep. Yeah, we've heard that one before.
I sleep shouted on a plane once. I went to sleep and I started praying. This was on my way back from my mission, and I started praying, and I prayed very loudly for people, and I was like, "Please bless this person." And they woke me up, and they were like, "Hey, what's going on?" And I was like, "I'm sorry.
Guilt.
Sorry, just sleep screaming."
I'm just sleep guilty. That's all.
That's all it is. Oh my gosh! But should we get, speaking of weddings, into our story time of the day?
We should.
Story time.
Story time! It's
Yay!
weddings week.
Wedding stories. Because we're all of the age where all of our friends are now getting married.
Their first
Maybe you're
marriages.
listening and you've already, their first ones. This is the exciting one. Maybe you're listening right now and you've already been through that stage where all of your friends got married, or you're listening right now and you're approaching it. Either way, have fun listening to these. I have been to 3 weddings in the past 2 years, and 3 other ones were either canceled or moved or I couldn't make it. So it was like 6 weddings in 2 years that I was supposed to have gone to. And nothing crazy has really happened.
Amateur numbers.
At any of them.
Oh, no.
I know. I turn stuff down, man. Like, I don't...
No, that's smart. That is smart. That's the play.
I was at the 3rd wedding. It was my best friend's wedding, and I'm very happy for him and his wife, and they're great people, and I love them to death. But out loud, while at his wedding, I like looked at someone. I just went, "There's too many people here." This doesn't need. There was so many people. They all invited like everybody they knew, and it was great that they all had so many. And I was in the wedding, and I was like, "There's too many people in this wedding." There were like 8 people on both sides of the bride and the groom because they just had that many really good friends, and they invited the. Dan, you
made
really
quite
looked
a
like
face,
you had
Dan.
something to say.
Yeah, what happened there,
I
man?
was gonna say something, but then you were saying something, so I was like, let me calm down. I was just gonna say that's how you get gifts, bro. Like, you have to invite every single person so that you can get all the gifts. That's how Mormons do it. They invite every single person. They feed you a cookie. They don't cater the wedding. They feed you a cookie or a piece of cake, and then you're on your way. And that's how they get all their gifts. You get your gift cards, thousands and thousands of dollars of gift cards, and
Wow.
That's how you kill the
Okay,
game.
they're not Mormon though. They were just regular white.
I don't know. That's pretty. That's actually pretty close to Mormon, believe it or not.
I feel like that's the definition of it. Yeah.
There were so many people there from my high school. It was basically like my high school reunion. Like, everyone was just seeing each other that they hadn't seen in years and just going, "Oh man, what are you up to?" And they're like, "Oh, I'm a lawyer now," or "I moved to Macedonia," or just like all these crazy things.
Wow.
Yeah, no, okay, that's not crazy coming from like, I knew somebody whose parent was from Macedonia.
Okay, see, that makes more sense than just I casually moved to Macedonia. Big Alexander the Great fan. Like, I just don't know why. Like, oh, that's how it was for my for this last wedding that I was just at. It was for my colleges though. It was just like everybody that I knew from college was there, and I was like, oh, this is different. This is a different type.
Everybody was improving. It was crazy.
So much improvising. Yeah.
So, Dan.
Yes.
Mormons have weddings
They
every
do.
Tuesday.
Every single time.
And you pretended to be one for a few years.
I did pretend. That was fun. That was great. My wedding story is very different though. I'm not gonna do a wedding story based off of an actual
was
wedding that
wildly tickled by that.
I was not prepared. I was not prepared. I love Dan. Were you Mormon for a while? No, but I pretended to be for a couple years. Like, that's just committed
when I
to
was
the
in
bit.
That's dedication.
When I was in the Army Reserve, I would say that we were just playing toy soldier for a weekend.
Oh
There
my
you go.
gosh.
And I did serve. I served in the army of God. That's where I
He had a
served.
2-year
I served in the
tour in
army of
Canada.
God.
The army goes to Germany, Dan goes to Canada. Same thing. Like that.
My wedding story comes from a time not when I actually attended a wedding, because I feel like most of the weddings that I've attended have had like there's a couple things that go wrong, but nothing crazy. But the craziest wedding I ever happened to be a part of was a wedding that I happened to be a caterer at. Ooh. This is the story of my catered wedding. The worst ever wedding that I ever catered in my entire life. So it is the hottest day in Utah. I think it's verging on like 110. It is an intense heat. I am
but
new.
It's still a dry heat.
I am an 18-year-old that has just moved to America and is just trying to make money. So he's willing to do everything and anything to get that money that he possibly can. You never know.
This story happened in the past.
I'm a different person, Ryan. Don't judge me.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I'm just checking it. Do you need a hug? Do you need something? Probably less hugs, I'm guessing. But like, oh my gosh.
Anyway, so my boss puts me on this wedding and he's like, hey, this is a smaller wedding, so hopefully it's a little bit better. And I was like, no, whatever. We get to the venue and it's this person.
Did you have bad experiences already?
No, not yet.
Or just did he make like easier?
Like he was thinking it was going to be easier because it was a smaller wedding, and he was like putting me on that for that purpose. He was like, "Hey, you're newer, so we're going to give you a newer wedding." So I'm like, "Dope." I don't understand the processes of like how to cater a wedding, so yeah, I'm down.
You put the food out, and people turn into animals. That's really the whole process.
Pretty much, yes. But this was it's so weird. Anyway, so we get to the wedding, and there is no word of a lie. We were like, "Hey, so where is it?" And they were like, "It's in our backyard," and we were like, "Where is your backyard?" And they were like, "Down the hill." Literally a hill like this steep down into a backyard.
I'm sorry.
Now,
because their
backyard is down the hill?
Yep. Down a hill.
That's like people living in Florida and going, my backyard is the beach. And it's like, I don't know, man, you live half a mile from the beach. Like, you don't have to lie to everyone.
Yeah. Well,
if there's a hill involved, that's not your backyard anymore. That's just a plot of land.
Well, now listen to this. All they have asked for in terms of catering is drinks, special weird lemon. Like we had to stuff bottles of like glass bottles with lemon and then like fill them up with this like weird lemonade. I can't remember what it was. Something fancy like that. And I was like,
it pink?
It was so extra. No, it was like blue and green. And it was all sorts of different colors.
It was Gatorade. That's what. Well,
yeah, I mean, we did use powder to mix it. So yeah, if you think you're getting a fancy drink,
a bunch of Kool-Aid.
I think we mixed Sprite with lemonade, with like powdered lemonade. We put Sprite and powdered lemonade together, and we were like, "It's fancy." You guys wanted
the yellow Kool-Aid, right? Okay, just in case we brought you the blue Kool-Aid and the green Kool-Aid too.
For those afraid of dying alone, we got the Jonestown special over here. Don't mind us.
Going to a small wedding in Utah with a bunch of Kool-Aid. Nobody will think the wiser.
Yeah, this can't go poorly.
Anyway, so now I'm like, no, what food are we transporting? And they were like, the food that we've chosen to cater our wedding with is soup. They have just chosen varieties of boiling hot soup on the hottest day in the summer. They think and they knew they live in Utah. They had to know that it was going to be a hot day. Because it's Utah in the middle of the summer. They ordered hot soup.
Did you, so this was just like a good warning system. You were like, oh, these are demons. I'm actually catering a wedding between two demons.
Yes.
Because those are the only people that would, first of all, the only people that would order just hot soup for a wedding.
Yep.
And then also on the hottest day of the... Who orders hot soup and nothing? Hot soup and Kool-Aid. That's what I want at my wedding.
Man.
If you guys could just bring me your
Grandpa can't choose, so we ordered
just the hottest cream of mushroom, chicken noodle. I want tomato and just, boiling hot. The kid that brings it out, make him a little bit awkward. I want him to drop a little bit. I don't want this to go well.
Okay.
And to drink?
Okay.
Kool-Aid. Lots of it. Different flavors.
Now, my coworkers that were working the party were girls who honestly were petite. They were small, and they were like, I don't know, they weren't real feminists, right? They were just like, hey, you carry all the food down the hill.
Right.
You carry the food down the hill.
Oh.
And I was like, okay, I guess I'm carrying all the soup down there, but... So I asked the people, I'm like, hey, can we use like your stairs in your house? And they were like, no, you're transporting soup. You can't do that. We have hardwood floors. And I was like,
You're not gonna roll it.
What? Because we have to get down the hill and go into this random side party. It was so weird. Anyway,
No, this is a task on an episode of Survivor. That's all that this is, man. Like this is Big Brother. You showed up. They're like, Big Brother. Da, da, da. First of all, your assignment is to cater a small wedding in a backyard that is not actually in their backyard. It is down a hill, and all they've asked for is hot soup. Lots and lots of hot soup. Go ahead, ask them if you can walk through their house. They'll say no. They have hardwood floors. You're not allowed to mess those up. The fastest time down the hills without spilling hot soup wins the challenge.
well, and this is the
I
other
don't know
thing.
where that came from.
I mean, it's great. I loved it.
Glad that it existed,
nailed
though.
that, man. That was a good impression. I enjoyed it thoroughly. But I don't know if you guys have ever transported a giant box down a hill.
Dan, you know damn well.
I have to.
We
also
have not transferred a box of hot soup down a hill.
multiple
Not
boxes.
soup, no,
I
but
need to
definitely
clarify.
done other things down hills.
I also have to clarify that at this point we were late for
I
the
don't
wedding.
like how vague that was, Ryan.
That's okay.
Why was there so much ambiguity in such a meaningless sentence?
I don't know, man. Sounds.
What do we think you
We
put
have
in a
no
box
idea.
to carry down a hill? A human?
No.
Oh
what?
God!
No,
oh
no one
God!
said
You
that.
carried a dead human in a box down a hill. We're kicking Ryan off the podcast.
He likes blood soup.
That's all it takes. One murder? You don't even know if that person was bad or not. Yeah. That could have been a person you really agree with their murder.
I wouldn't, he does shake,
true.
and apparently a
Yeah,
symptom of cannibalism is shaking. So we do know that that's something.
I've got delirium tremors from all the bodies. Like,
Yeah, he invented a disease to cover his cannibal shakes.
You're right, yeah.
He's fiending. He's just been fiending for bodies this whole time.
That was his
Where are the headaches,
real
Ryan? You
motivation
still got
for
headaches?
luring us to Minnesota. He was just trying to get us to go. He's like, come
It's
to
not
the 3
insomnia,
states.
He just
Yeah,
it's not
I don't know about
insomnia,
it, but it
he
hadn't-
just stays up late to eat people.
Come to
If
this
it hadn't
town.
been raining, I could have taken Dan because he definitely set himself up for that. But yeah.
I don't call people when I'm by myself. I don't. Very clearly, I'm
definitely
gullible.
sets himself up for it.
So
Anyway.
you're carrying a box.
Okay,
By the way,
so-
that's a weird unit of measurement for soup. By the way,
Yes,
a
right?
box.
No, well, so this is the thing. In catering, what you do is you have these things called I think it's just a hot box, and what you do
Yeah,
is you
yeah.
stack them inside so that they
The silver, the metal.
yeah
Yeah, I've
I
done
forget what they're
catering,
called,
just not for
carafes or
weddings.
something like that. You put them in and you basically usually just carry them down, slide them around. But on this super steep hill with soup, we can't tilt it. It has to stay up straight or else we're going to lose all of the product because I need to specify again, we are 30 minutes to the wedding at this point. We've arrived late because of some weird fuel issues. I forgot to preface that. We have to get the soup down, all these things of soup down the hill. These girls are not helping me. So now I'm having to go and transport 3 giant boxes of hot soup down this hill. So my solution is, okay, what I'll do is I will put it on this little wheelie thing and I will
dolly?
just dolly. Yeah, dolly. It was kind of a dolly.
Was it a dolly? Is the
It's the one with 4 wheels. It's the one with 4
gotcha, that's
wheels,
different
right?
than I thought.
Yeah.
I was
So
thinking
it's not
the tilt.
quite a
It's
dolly.
a cart. You
A
just
cart,
have a
yeah, a little cart. So we put it on the cart, and the girls are like, "We can hold the back, but you have to hold the front, right?" So I was like,
Yeah,
"Dope."
because that's where soup flows.
Yes. So I was like, "Okay,
Flows
cool,
downhill.
whatever." So I'm holding this.
This is bad.
We're like a quarter of
Oh,
the
it's
way
been
down,
bad,
a
right?
quarter of the way down, and these girls just let go. They just are like, "Nope, we've decided not to hold it, to even give it a chance. We're just gonna let
Look,
go."
I'm no narc, but you got them fired, right?
No, they didn't get fired. Not at all. It was crazy. Anyway, now I'm trying to transport it down and carry it, and they're trying to catch up with me, but the soup is super heavy, and I'm trying to just support it. It's also boiling hot, and it is now spilling all over my body. I am covered head to toe in greasy hot soup of different varieties.
greasy?
Hate that it's greasy.
Tomato,
Greasy?
yeah, it was greasy. It had oil. It was really weird.
Gross.
So now I'm
Ugh.
transporting it all downhill. As I'm about to get to the last part, what happens with the first box? It just completely douses me at the end. Just a rush of that because the girls tried to grab the cart and pull it up, and they tilt the cart up So I'm holding it straight, transporting it down. They tilt the cart up, and it dumps hot soup onto me.
Wait, it gets worse, and you still didn't get them fired?
Oh
Just
my
kept getting
gosh.
worse. My boss at this point has now arrived on the scene and is watching this happen, and is like,
Your boss saw them do that, and
Yes.
they did. I am so mad right now.
Dude, that is
to be fair, my
ridiculous.
boss did help me get the other boxes down though. But now I'm covered in hot soup on the hottest
What a
day in Utah.
concept!
And he's like, "Hey, you can't touch anything
Because you're covered in soup.
because you're covered in soup. But we
Greasy,
need you to work
greasy
the party
tomato
because
soup.
there's no other people working this party. You have to work the party." So I'm like, okay. So I like wipe down the soup. I'm just stinking of tomatoes, which I hate. And now I'm like, what I'm doing is I'm bussing. So I'm just bussing plates. There's this old couple, and this old man has the audacity to look around, turn around to me, and say, "Oh, you seem a little soupy." And I didn't understand the joke. I don't know what he meant by it.
Because there's
But he
nothing
clearly
to
thought
understand.
he clearly thought he was doing something. He was like,
And
"I just
nobody-
made
it's-
the joke of the century."
It'd be a good joke if "you're looking soupy" was like a normal phrase we used for something, but it's not.
Maybe it
Nobody's
is.
ever
Maybe like in the
said that.
50s, the like soupy was like sad and angry. You're
No.
looking soupy, little fella.
No, never.
It
Ever,
sounds-
no. I
Honestly,
refuse.
it sounds
Even
like sexual
even
harassment.
If you find, oh, yeah, it sounds like a lot of things are happening right now. This feels like just an episode of what, I don't know, either Punked or Impractical Jokers, whichever one is more time relevant. Hey, oh yeah, Q, now you gotta actually tell this guy that he's the only one available to work this wedding and just convince him that he has to stay. But he's covered in soup. We know. We got, yeah, do you want the
we
thumbs
did
up,
that.
Q?
We gave him the worst female employees ever to go with him. It's just Brittany and Brenda who are just going to talk about Chad the entire time.
It's so hard to carry soup. I don't understand why the solution wasn't like, "Hey, let's take individual soups down," which only became the fact. And I pitched that. I want to clarify. I did say, "Let's take them individually down," and they were like, "We don't have time. You just have to do it." And I'm new, so I'm like, I guess I have to follow these girls' orders because I wasn't the one running the catering party. Technically, it was one of the girls, and I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. My boss at the end of the day was like, "Oh, and then just
There's more.
cherry on top. Lady comes down. She has watched me the whole day get spilled with soup, bus, do all sorts of crazy stuff. Now I'm drenched in sweat and soup, and she's like, "Hey, clearly you've had a rough day. I want to like make sure that it's worth your while." And she's like, "Here's a tip." And I'm thinking, this woman is so kind. She is so nice. Open up the bill. It is a $5 bill. I have been there for 8 hours. Doing all sorts of... Well, I've been working for 8 hours. Carrying soup, doing all sorts of stuff.
God.
And this woman has, again, the audacity to tip me $5 for all of my troubles. And she's like... Again, she knows what's happened. And it just was the worst. It was the worst wedding experience of my entire life. But...
Wow.
I know.
They had good soup.
I know
apparently.
this is an awful memory that you have, and it sounded like an awful experience. But if we ever do something, all three of us together, I will pay real money to anybody who comes to our next show, cosplaying as Sweaty Soupy Dan.
Oh my god.
Oh, and it has to be different soups. It can't be
Yeah,
one
it has to
soup.
be multiple soups.
Multiple
And it doesn't
soups.
have to be, by the way, it doesn't have to be real. Please don't cover yourself in real soup
Please don't.
before coming to just use your imagination, cosplay Sweaty Soupy Dan, and I will pay you a whole $5 bill.
Ah.
I love
You
it.
might
But that's
double
my
it
wedding
if you
story.
get real soup.
That's
Oh
my
my
wedding
gosh.
story. So
Dan, that's
Awful.
brutal. That's brutal. Catering wedding sucks. It
catering
sucks
is
a lot.
a whole different game. There's other catering nightmares.
I
that
didn't know
happen.
you catered weddings, Ryan. I thought you just went to strangers' weddings.
I do that now. Now it's way better. Yeah, no,
It's like now
used
instead
to
of
cater
serving the
weddings.
food, I eat it.
And nah. But you know what? I'm always very thankful for those catering the wedding. I'm always like, I know this sucks. Like, come in, bring it in.
You always like look at them and like, I've been where you've been. So
I've
get out
I've
of here.
seen that side of the war. It's okay. Like
One day you'll get famous on TikTok. Trust me, it'll be.
Trust me, that's the natural progression.
Listen, son,
Catering
quit your
weddings,
job
famous on
now
TikTok
before you
someday.
end up sweaty and soupy at the bottom of a hill.
You ever thought you'd be sweaty and soupy? Don't ask. Yeah, I do. I go to a lot of weddings. I've got 3 weddings that I'm supposed to go to in September.
Yes.
Jesus, man.
And I am so stoked.
Sounded like you were about to just be like.
No, I just realized
He's
that
just-
I think I overlapped something and that's a moment. Hold on, let me just check his schedule real quick. Oh, it pulls
Okay,
up.
yeah, no, absolutely.
Did I might have just accidentally. I hope they're getting married on the 17th, not the 16th. Because someone wants me to be their maid of honor on the 15th of October. Yes. And I want to be the maid of honor so bad. They're calling me the mad lad of honor. Yeah? Yeah?
The maid of honor.
Yeah.
Are you wearing a dress?
No, they want me in a suit.
Dang it!
I just want to be certain that you're not actually confused why people think you're gay.
Are you hosting the bachelorette party?
No, I wish. I actually might go to the bachelorette party now that I can't do the because I need to make sure when. Hold on. Let me just check something. Here's what I can say though: is I've been to strangers' weddings and it's been very cool because I got a text or like a DM from a girl named Shay, and the first one goes like, Mike gets married on the 16th. Dang, probably can't stand the wedding on the 15th unless it's a midday wedding, and then I could fly out and make it there. On the
you could plan this outside of the podcast.
No, I don't know. Now the podcast gets to know.
Okay.
But
Just so they all know where
this
you're
girl,
going.
This girl, her name was Shay, and what she did, she DM'd me and she was like, "Hey, my boyfriend broke up with me super last minute, and I have this wedding that I'm supposed to go to, and I have a +1. Would you like to go with me so that I can use the +1?" And for some reason, I was just like, "That sucks. That sucks so bad. Like that. Like
I hope you said that to her.
no, I did. I was like,
Hey, Ryan. Hey, youth pastor Ryan. I just my boyfriend broke up with me, and I'm supposed to go to a wedding, and I have a +1. Will you please come with me? And you just that sucks. Send.
No, I didn't say. I was just like, that would have been really funny. I was just like, that sucks so bad to like have, and like you have a lot of things going on there that make that suck, and so it's just like I can make someone's day better. So I'm gonna go to this wedding, and I did. I went to the wedding, and it was awesome because I show up, I meet her at a Starbucks beforehand because I want to make sure she doesn't stab me. You know what I mean? Because it's a stranger.
Dan, take notes.
Yeah, Dan, this is
people beforehand.
And then we went to this wedding of one of her coworkers, and it was a beautiful wedding, and everyone was super cool.
Okay.
And it was just so
Actually,
nice. And there was drinks, and there was partying, there was dancing. It was great. And then I was like, I need to do this more often. And so this last wedding that I went to, this was of my buddy Casey's, but it was super like we were all getting everything last minute. Like I probably got the shirt for it because, and granted, we were being told these things last minute. Love him to death, but it's a last minute planning. I got the shirt the day before I left for us going to Minnesota. And I was like, oh no, I hadn't tried anything on. And I pack all this stuff up. And you guys have heard now the flying out story. I get there. Yeah. I land at 9 a.m. I'm on 2 hours of sleep, and I have to get to a wedding by noon. It is an hour drive away, and sometimes
sounds like you
longer.
have good timing.
I also got to rent a car. I got another Corolla because I know those things can go 100 miles an hour for sure.
You did. By the way, I just want to let you know, based on the math you've just given me, you didn't need to go 100 miles an hour.
But you did.
There's no but.
But we know that Ryan likes to be early, so yes,
I did like to be early, and
Ryan just likes to go fast.
I think I do just like to speed. And so
Ricky Bobby.
Talladega Nights, baby. I get to the wedding and I'm early, but we need time to change. And so I start setting up things. I set up a bee. There was a bubble blowing bee, but they didn't have batteries. So I'm just trying to set up a bee. Don't ask. And then they didn't have a place for the grooms.
Well, no, good thing you said that because I was about to have several questions. But now that you've told me not to, I have no questions. Keep going.
Perfect. I was supposed to also, they didn't have a place for the groomsmen to change, so they just had this big van. And here's the thing, it wasn't tall enough though for us to get in, so we just stood behind a van and changed.
What kind of wedding venue was this?
This was a nursery, like a tree nursery. That's pretty.
Was there no
what?
indoor place in this nursery?
There was, but it was just for the girls. Which again, Dan,
and we
not
know.
to focus on the lack of feminism here, but like that doesn't feel equal.
We know that you're not a feminist, right?
I was gonna say. He's like, those women chicken my room.
But it was so much fun, and it was great, and they all said yes. And here's the thing, I hadn't been to the rehearsal, so I just stood there.
They all said yes? That's great to know.
They all said yes, but I got there late, so I didn't go to the rehearsal. I didn't know where to stand, so I'm just kind of standing out there like, man, I hope I'm right. And it was great. It was awesome. It was lovely. They got married. Marriage is great. I like it. Brings me joy. I just love seeing love so freaking much. And then I have to MC the entire reception. And the only thing I was given was a little sheet of paper that kind of said like, that had like 5 little, it looked like a comedy set list or like mine for certain, where it's just got like 5 notes and it's like, good luck for an hour. But I did it, and towards the end they're like, it was fun. I was crushing it, I will be honest, but towards the end, like a bunch of the family comes up and they're like, we hear you're a stand-up comedian. You should do stand-up. And like they were like, we've been told you're gonna do stand-up. We've been told you're gonna do stand-up. And I'm like, well,
and that's
someone
when you look at them and I go, I hear you guys aren't at work right now either.
Just some advice though for the audience: don't ever ask a stand-up comedian to do their set at your wedding. Thank you very much.
Don't ever ask a stand-up comedian to tell you jokes outside of an actual like performance. That's literally the same thing.
Ryan's gonna be like, and it was fantastic, and I did incredibly
so much fun,
well.
though. I know,
we
I got
had
to crush.
fun, but that's just who Ryan is. I wouldn't have done it. I'd be like, no, I'm not gonna do that. That's like if you walked up to me and you're like, oh, you're a comedian, tell me a joke, and I went, oh, you're an accountant, crunch some numbers for me right now.
Which actually would be very helpful if I met, I should do that more. Invite some accountants to be doing numbers for me. But yes.
Yes, those are the people that do the job of
they do
numbers for
They do
other
those
people.
numbers really well.
Yeah. But
you want to write that down too? So you remember?
Okay, I
here's
guess.
I did the speech, and it's because this is a buddy of mine who'd we'd lived together like in this same house in Michigan, it was terrible, and so I got to tell the story of how he would always like essentially I lived and I there was a skunk underneath our house. I thought it was a raccoon. I went to make friends with it one night when I was been drinking.
Yeah, I think I remember you telling us this one.
Yeah, and so Sebastian the skunk, I told that story, and I was like, we both lived in the same room, and it was cool because during that time as a freshman, he talked about this girl that he liked in high school named April. And by the way, my buddy's name is Casey Jones. The girl's name is April. If you don't know anything about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, just know that in the show, those two people get together, which is pretty cool. Yeah. So I got to make some jokes about that and the fact that like he had talked about this girl that like even as a freshman in college, he was like, I really had this crush on this girl in high school, and I'm sitting there like, well, yeah, man, we all like he's like, I really want to date her, and I was like, we all want a lot of things, man. Like I mean, like this is probably
Ryan's
not
like,
gonna
I also want to date her.
Right. Oh my gosh!
Did you?
No, I never knew April until Sweet Casey. But then it was a cool thing to watch him go from it's like, hey, now we're talking, now we're dating, now we're engaged, and then during the wedding, I got to watch his face change as he realized that like the whole dream that he had since I had known him all came together and worked out. And it was a very beautiful moment. There were awes from the audience. Stuff was great. Yeah, just like that. It was beautiful. It was a very beautiful thing.
Weddings are fun in that way. Weddings
like
are fun in like reliving memories. It's fun when you're reliving them. It's not fun when hot soup is being dumped on you. But
that sounds less fun. That sounds very less fun. All right, guys. I think that's.
I didn't really have a crazy one. I just kind of talked about how I had a bunch that I was supposed to go to.
Oh, okay.
I went to like half of them. But that's is that story time?
That's story time.
Story time.
Yeah.
We did it.
Yeah.
Which just brings us to the end of the podcast. We have our last segment here, audience submissions, and we'll kick it off with you, Ryan.
All right, from Yana T. Hey guys, hope you're having an awesome day. I was wondering if you guys can give a shout out to your favorite teacher, primary school through college, doesn't matter, that you've ever had. Also, did you have a teacher that you hated and why? Oh, I have a good one for this. Thanks for all you guys do. What do you guys have?
Sips
The
tea.
Sips tea.
I will not be partaking in teacher slander.
I absolutely will.
That's fine. You can.
Wait, why won't you?
I've got it all out of my system. I mean, I dropped out of college, so it's not like I have anything fresh. This is all just high school stuff from like 9 years ago. So
I won't say names because
of course I won't say names.
I had such a weird relationship. This teacher was so fantastic. Oh wait, no, that's.
I loved that moment.
It's a tie. It's a tie. Okay. I don't know if I can say her name, but her name makes it so much better. Okay, I'm gonna say it.
Okay.
Her name was Mrs. Cunliffe, and you can imagine
who's what?
many jokes that an old boys' school could come up with the name Mrs. Cunliffe.
No, I can't imagine.
I can't think of a single one. Can you give us an example, Dan?
No, I won't. No shot. Anyway, she was my Form 3 biology teacher. Form 3 is when you're like 15.
Okay.
And so it's her first day. This is her first day with us. Mm-hmm. She's like 86 years old. Apparently she had taught the guys in my class, she had taught their parents. That's how old she is. Like, she's that old of a person. And she was apparently old when she taught them. So people were like, she's teaching you.
She's as old as time.
I don't know if she's 86, actually. She might have been older. She was teaching.
Okay, well, there's no danger in her hearing this episode.
Yeah, probably. If we're honest, yeah.
Even if she was still alive, like, she probably can't hear anyway.
Oh my gosh.
You never know. Maybe she's immortal and we just don't understand. But anyway,
yeah, she's gone.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. She, out of nowhere, on the first day of school, she's walking and she's wearing like those sandals that have the like leather straps at the back to support.
Like Jesus.
But like with the strap around the back. And out of nowhere, we just see this trail of blood going behind her, and we're like, "What the heck?" And we look at her foot. Her foot is just like going off. It is just bleeding, and so. One of the guys puts up his hand and it's like, "Excuse me, ma'am," and she's like, "What?" She also used to go like this. What? That was her mouth.
Like Roz
like
from Monsters Inc.
Yeah.
Literally. Yeah, literally.
Mike
And she's like, what?
You forgot your paperwork.
She's like, "What?" They're like, "Hey, you're bleeding. Your foot is bleeding." She looks down at her foot and she just looks up abruptly and is like, "I know, I'm old." And then just keeps walking. She walks up to a whiteboard.
What?
Starts writing on the whiteboard. Out of nowhere, goes to itch her butt. But goes inside of her pants.
Well, sometimes you have to.
She
just
goes
really get that
inside
itch.
of her pants. And her pants fall down.
Around her bloody foot. What?
Not
in
fully,
the
but not
world?
to the point where by her ankles. But we definitely saw full cheek. We saw the whole experience happen before our eyes, and it was a very. It was.
Did anyone like?
veiny.
I'm gonna touch the butt.
Gonna touch the butt.
Oh, and she
Wow.
kept saying it's one of. I just remember this very vividly. We were all just like staring in utter shock after this, and. She was like, "Why are you all staring at me? I'm not that beautiful." And the guy was like, from the back, was like, "I know." And she put us all in detention that day. So she was not having
Worth
any
it.
of it.
I love that man. Can we interview him on the podcast?
Hey, you still in
I do know
contact
who
with
it
him?
is. Yeah, I could probably get him.
That's really funny. I had a good teacher. But I just remember my kindergarten teacher, Mrs. Huffman, being so nice. She was delightful. And I'll say her name because she's just a delightful human. And I hope that if she hears this, she just knows that she's delightful. I also, in college, had a professor that was just anti-Semitic, which was not cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. He referred to Jews in quotes. Like Jews were not a separate group of people. He referred to them as ethnic white, which I thought was weird. And like that was a weird thing to do, but he could never get fired. And also, no one would call him out on being racist. He was black. So he could get away with it. And literally no one would say anything to him about it. It was like I sat in that class and here's the thing, if you said anything against it, you were racist. He was that guy. It was the worst. He taught US military history. He started off like our World War II segment about the nuclear bombs being dropped, and he was like, "Did we do it because we were racist?" Like that was the thing. Like, did we drop it on the Japanese, not the Germans, because of racism? By the way, just to let you know, give you a timeline. Germany surrenders in April. The bomb is created in June. Then it's dropped in August. If we had bombed the Germans, that was after they surrendered. It's not even a possible. It's just what. Yeah. Oh my God! He was just the worst human I've ever met. He was so actually not true. I've dated the worst human I ever met. That came out wrong. But he was bad. Yeah. That teacher. Yeah, and he still teaches there because no one can get him fired because he's just allowed to do what he does.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so I don't have anything that I want to say bad about teachers, but I will shout out a few. I had some pretty cool teachers.
I forgot to do that too. I should do that.
Yeah. So I had my chemistry teacher in high school, Mr. Hernandez, was super dope. I loved him. He introduced me to the book The Ender's Game. He introduced me to the game Catan. He introduced me to the 90s animated series The Tick on YouTube.
Nice.
Yeah, he was just a great dude, and whenever he talked about his wife, he would specifically and solely refer to her as my hot Latina chick wife every single time. He was great. I loved him. Then my AP Lang and creative writing teacher, Mrs. Paul, she was great as well, but she was like so great to the point where like a lot of students were just like when we all had to write a poem about a teacher at the end of the year. That was like a assignment that we had. Like she got half of the students that ever had her wrote poems about her because she was just like that cool with everybody. And then Mr. Ullum, I'm pretty sure I'm saying that right. If I got that right, Mr. Ullum, he was my Calc 1 and Calc 2 teacher, and he would always come out to the cross country meets. Whenever we were running cross country, we had a home meet. He would come and watch us and support us at those. He was super cool. My AP Calc BC class only had 6 students in it, so we got to know him pretty good after that. And then last one I'll say is Mr. Griffin. He was my drafting. He was my drafting academy.
Peter.
No.
What?
No,
I
not
just wanted
Peter
to say.
Griffin.
No, I just wanted to say.
It was Mr.
It's
Griffin.
the only Griffin I know.
He was a cool dude, man. Like he did motocross just for fun in his spare time. He's the one that eventually bought the academy some 3D printers that I got to learn how to use while I was in high school. And he looks like, man. Okay, hold on. Who's the quarterback that announces football? Troy Aikman.
Oh, nice.
He looks like Troy Aikman.
Yes,
Huh.
I know that reference.
So,
Yes.
okay, you can just Google it. David.
Of course.
But he was just a super cool guy. I skipped a lot of class and spent it in there, and he was pretty cool. So those are my shout outs. I'm sure there's others that I'm just forgetting because ADHD, but I had some pretty cool teachers in high school.
Nice. That's awesome.
Shout out to Miss Kudzai, aka Mrs. Mukotsanjera. She was so awesome. History teacher. Who else did I really like? Miss Vidovic. She never taught me, but she was a teacher who supported me and thought that I was fantastic, and I love her for that. And Mr. Masiwa. He put up with all of my nonsense and was just the most chill dude. Could have had me beaten many times than I needed to be beaten, and he didn't. So.
Yeah, I kind of forgot you got beaten and stuff.
Yeah, wow, man, different experiences. I had Mr. Warren was super cool, and Mr. Besh. They were my AP US history teacher and then AP poli-sci teacher. They were just cool. They were awesome, and they made sure that we competed nationally in front of Supreme Court justices, and that was cool as hell.
Yeah,
like, it was awesome. Yeah, man, it was cool. Got to debate in front of them, and I was like, yeah. But yeah,
I got the next question from Skylar G. I adore history, and Ryan mentioning Andrew Johnson during the Robert Smalls episode made me remember that the 17th President of the United States, Andrew Johnson, can catch these hands. That being said, my question is, which figure from history would you absolutely street fight? Thanks for the pod. It's hilarious and brings me such joy each week. Who would you street fight? A figure from history?
I mean, the go-to is probably Hitler, but I don't know. Like, Rasputin would be fun.
Look, I wouldn't want to lose a street fight. Okay? Like, that's why I wouldn't street fight Rasputin.
That is a thing you got to think about. Like, someone that you want to fight and also probably could take.
He was frail. Okay, you could probably take
No,
Rasputin.
he wasn't. He was indestructible.
I mean, he was
He got
indestructible,
shot
but he
and
was
then-
not a big guy. He was definitely, like, skinny, right? Like, I could take him. I could take
Okay,
him.
fair. Yeah, that's fair. You know, I got faith
And
in
you
Dan,
know,
to be
you
completely
have the
honest.
satisfaction of beating him up over and over again. So the monster inside of him, you're just like, let's do it. Let's just keep going.
Oh,
Would I?
Woodrow Wilson, Robespierre, Karl Marx. Absolutely would throw down with each and every one of them. I think it'd be fun. That would be.
You're doing it for fun?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's kind of
Because-
where I was leaning too.
Robespierre just got so trigger happy and started killing all the French people, which was ridiculous. And he was such. Here's the thing, mostly because they were all hypocrites. They were all massive hypocrites, and that ticks me off to no end. They were just the worst people in history. He wrote his whole thing while being paid for by a guy in a capitalist society, and just literally working. He was literally paid to be a writer by some guy that was like, "You write nice." It's the dumbest thing ever. and the dude owned factories. It's so stupid. It's so dumb.
No, I
Woodrow
changed
Wilson
that.
is the reason we have current, like most of our current foreign relations problems. That's Woodrow Wilson. If you're curious about it, it all goes back to Wilson. Robespierre was just a tool. Anyway, sorry.
Would. No, you're fine, dude. You got to get it out somehow. I would street fight.
I think I'm rageful this episode, though. I don't know why. I don't want to
It was
be.
all the wedding talk. Ugh.
Yeah.
The-
How to balance
I
it.
would street fight the official astrologer of the Reagans when they were in the White House.
I love that so much.
we love
I don't
it.
know who it is or what they could do to me in a street fight, but all I know is that when Reagan was president, for a good chunk of time, they would ask an astrologer which decisions he should make about a lot of important things, and then the astrologer would tell them what the stars would say to do, and Reagan did a lot of bad stuff. At no point, apparently, was the astrologer like, maybe I should lie to him. Well,
Hey,
she was
but-
already doing pseudoscience, so it was kind of lying
Joan
to him anyway.
Cecil Quigley. She passed away in October of 2014, so I think that you'd probably win this one.
Absolutely, I would.
But even in her heyday, I got faith in you, man.
I would fist fight Joan Cecil Woodley what? I don't.
Quigley.
Quigley? Oh, that's even worse. I would destroy Joan Quigley. She could throw stars at me if she wanted to.
Right?
That's all I had to say. I would fist fight. I would fist fight the astrologer of the Reagan.
I love how specific
I love
that
it.
is.
Wonderful.
Oh.
Cool.
right.
The next question comes from Julie F. My 5-year-old daughter was watching TikTok with me and my wife, Caitlin, and she said really likes Beer Bong John more because Youthbuster Ryan looks like he would cry if he was given the wrong flavor of ice cream.
Well, this is becoming
I
a
love it.
TikTok.
Oh, I love this. I love this 5-year-old.
Wow.
She is
He
fantastic.
just got roasted by a 5-year-old.
Someone who can't confidently go places without multiple changes of pants just told me that I was a huge pussy. Do you know how ridiculous that is? Oh my gosh.
I want to interview her too.
Yes,
Right.
she's fantastic. Anyway, the rest of it is we love the podcast and it always brightens our days. Thanks for being awesome.
Thanks. It used to brighten my day too.
It still brightens mine.
Oh my
fun.
gosh. Gosh, that was so funny and so ridiculous. And oh my gosh, I feel played. We got something from Ember A. I love you all so much. I want to cosplay Florida so badly. Ryan, his comedy is amazing. 10 out of 10. Thanks. And the genuinely skits you guys come up with is amazing. You make me smile. Hope you guys enjoy the day, night, whatever time it is for you. Thanks, Ember A. Thanks for just words of encouragement. That's very nice. I
Feel free
appreciate
to
you.
cosplay Florida. Set something on fire for me.
Hold on.
This is
No,
legally. This is a joke.
But illegally is how you'll set things on fire. No.
Arson! Yay!
All right, next is Ben.
Oh, that's me. Okay. From Yana T. Hey guys, hope you're all having an awesome day. I saw Ben's TikTok about hauntings in the Northeast. I was wondering if you guys believe in ghosts. If you do or do not, can you tell a local ghost story from where your hometown/state, or maybe even a story of your own? And finally, what would you do if you ever saw a ghost? Thanks for everything you do, and have an awesome week. Have you guys ever seen a ghost?
Nah.
No. I didn't.
I believe in them.
I was scared of them for a long time, but I don't believe in them anymore.
I believe in them because I think life would be too boring if you didn't believe.
Just really
It's
don't
true.
know.
There's
You know what I
something
mean?
fun about being like, there's a ghost in my house.
Yeah. I can
Yeah,
see that.
his name's Jeffrey.
Jeffrey.
Jeffrey. Awesome.
But yeah, Florida is pretty haunted. If you go to St. Augustine, Florida, they do ghost tours all the time. Good chance that you can see
Last time I
something.
did a ghost tour, it wasn't even scary at all, or even like mildly. And so I was just like,
Yeah.
I think this is it for me. I don't know if I can. Like, it wasn't even kind of.
I have a lot of research about some of the most haunted places in America. We can do a real ghost tour.
Ooh, that could actually be really fun. That could be really, really fun.
Podcast ghost tour.
I
that'd be
say,
awesome.
I say we do a cross-country tour and just go and find haunted houses and film ourselves in them.
Okay.
And then
Actually, so much fun.
attract all the demons and then die, probably, right? That's how that works?
Happens to the
I don't
best
know.
of us.
We're gonna die anyway. We might as well go out epically, right? Ghost
That's
hunting.
actually-
You know what? Now that you say that, I'm in.
Oh, Ben, you were already in.
Love it. Cool. Next question comes from James W. Hey guys, long time listener, first time caller. My
love
question is
that.
for Dan. Do you still have to suffer through harassment by the church since you left? I have seen horror stories all over TikTok, so I was just wondering if they are still bothering you or if they got the message that you do not have any interest anymore. I read that wrong, but no, that's not my experience. I'm sure that's other people's experience. I can't speak for them, but for me at least, no, they left me pretty much alone. Someone at the show asked us, how do you stop someone from asking you to be Mormon? And I said, just tell them you're gay, and then they'll leave you alone fully. So, you know, I think my experience is
solid
just very
strategy.
different for a lot of people. So, yeah, it just has been my experience. As far as I'm concerned, it's been pretty positive. So,
Have you tried being gay? That'll get you out of it. There you go.
second question, follow up for Ben and Ryan. I tagged you guys in a TikTok about creators I would love to run a D&D game for before listening to episode 21 of the podcast. Since Ben has popped his TTRPG cherry, what does that mean? What is TTRPG?
TikTok RPG.
Oh, okay. Cherry, and suggested that the three of you should play a one-shot. I would love to offer my services as the DM. I really want to see what kind of chaos would come from a game with all of you. Why did we film the one-shot we did? We should have filmed it.
Because that was just a practice thing.
It's true. Yeah.
We still have to finish it. It was a 2-shot, technically.
I'm ready to finish that. That was fun.
Yeah, we have to come up with something. But yeah, we're gonna figure out when and where and how we're gonna do the D&D one shot for the episode of the podcast. So just stay tuned on that one. We have nothing set in stone yet.
Yeah, but we'd like to do some good things. Anyway.
And our last update.
Is from Absolutely Not. Good morning, gentlemen. First thing first, hi Ryan, we love you so much. Thank you for always saying that when we write in, we're so touched. We're going to answer your question. Our team consists of 2 primary members and 4 support members. That's so cool. Back to business. We have a few score updates for you. Update 1 over last week. Ryan has been communicating via TikTok live with the Mad Doctor herself. Absolutely not. The night of the last podcast drop, she visited Ryan's live and Ryan introduced us to his audience in the hopes that he would earn him extra points. He is wildly behind in the standings. We admire the bold initiative and have decided to award him a bonus point, as our interns call it, chutzpah. Man, I love that.
Chutzpah.
He also asked nicely. Chutzpah.
I thought it was Schutzpah.
Oh my gosh.
Chutzpah?
Yeah, like Chanukah? No, it's
Like
Dolan,
Hanukkah.
it's a Yiddish word, Dolan. Chutzpah. You gotta have some chutzpah.
Okay.
Like you're schwitzing,
Alright.
because I've got chutzpah.
learning.
He also asked nicely, and that counts for something. Ryan 15, Ben 18, Dan 19. Update 2, Ben followed Absolutely Not Labs on Instagram and earned 1 bonus point for being second to the party.
Hell
Ryan
yeah.
15, Ben 19, Dan 19. I'm just down here. Update 3, Ben unlocked another secret challenge, the travel challenge. The first time one of you visits a birthplace for our current and former state for where our team has lived is worth a
You
point.
should
Ben's-
try that sentence one more time.
Yep. The travel challenge. The first time one of you visits the birthplace of our birthplace or former or current state. Okay, to be fair, the sentence could have been written better.
Yeah, no, okay. That's
Where
fair.
one of our team has lived or currently lives is worth a point. Ben's recent travels qualifies, so now we have a new leader. Congratulations, Ben. Ben 20, Dan 19,
Ryan
I didn't
15.
even try to do that one.
Does Ryan lose a
His
point for
recent
trying
trip.
for calling out grammar errors from absolutely not that?
No, don't hit me with that.
think so.
I love
I
them.
think so.
They know I love them. Ryan's recent trip has earned him a travel bonus point. Ryan, 16, Dan, 19, Ben, 20. However, Ben is also now in possession of some truly ratified knowledge. He knows the identity of one of our team. Do you really? Like in real, like, can you pick them out of a crowd kind of thing? Oh my gosh.
I'm
Ryan
not
and
gonna
Dan,
tell you.
if Ben slips and reveals anything about the person's identity, he loses everything, back to 0. So keep him honest and keep Abs Labs informed. You know where to find us. Until next time, Absolutely Not Labs. Side note, I'd like to point out, Ben, you hate being in first. Fix this right now. And
I told
second
you I
off-
didn't try to get that point. I
Right?
just did a show.
That's fair. Editor's notes, she's not really mad, just disappointed. You're not that far behind, dude. It's fine. Oh, that one was definitely for me. Oh, it's like they know I'm the one that volunteers to read their stuff. Oh my gosh. Guys, that was fun. I love Absolutely
Yes.
Not Labs. We're gonna have to do some more stuff with them.
Well, we have to do the serial killer challenge from them.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Still in business.
Oh, and the fancy clothes one.
Uh-huh. We got 2 of them.
But-
We got 2 challenges.
Yeah, my fancy clothes are still in Florida, and I won't have them until December. So.
December?
Yeah, I'm driving back in December.
That makes sense. Okay. Cool. Well,
But that's
boys,
it.
That's it.
That's all. That's the
the
whole
podcast.
episode. Thank you so much for listening in. If this was your first time listening to us, we want to thank you so much for joining us. We hope we did something, said something, or were something that made you want to come back again next week for something. I don't know. We're doing history next week. Ryan, what's the sneak peek?
Yeah, a guy that took 30 times the recommended dose of meth.
Yes.
Yep.
Recommended is not a word that belongs
I just wanna
in that
clarify-
sentence.
Sorry, I
Yes.
just want to clarify. I'm not cheering for meth. I meant to cheer
I
because
am.
I've heard the story before, so I do love it. But I'm not cheering for meth. Meth is bad. So we should
No.
not do
Dan
meth.
just cheered for meth. Let's all keep him honest about that.
I'll cheer for meth. Go meth! But that's our full episode. If you want to find us outside of the podcast, Ryan, where can they go?
YouthPastorRyan.com. Got a link to everything that you could possibly want to find about me. Dan, what about you?
Dan Bam Bam on all social media except for Snapchat, which is at Dan
underscore
YOLO.
YOLO love.
Love. Beautiful.
So many people have added me from that, so I appreciate
that.
it. Thank you. Ben?
Yeah, hi. You can find me at benbrainard.com. It's spelled Brain A-R-D. If you can't figure that out, try using yours. I have everything there, links to everything. And if you want to find the podcast links, you can go to gdfmpodcast.com. That's a full list of all of our episodes, a full list of where you can find us, and you can email the podcast at podcast@gdfmpodcast.com. That's it. That's all. We love you so much. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.